Good morning, everybody. It's Teepa and Matthew here for Time with Teepa. And today I want to highlight so one size does not fit all when it comes to dementia. And so you have this challenging situation and you're wondering, oh, well, what do I need? What should I be doing here? And I would say, wow, well, you need more than you have for sure. So let me give you a for instance that I've run into recently. So I have a daughter whose dad um, is in a facility after some rough road because mom passed away. And it was sudden, and it was, although it came out of left field, it was not expected. It was a hidden illness that became present and then took mom in almost no time at all. So mom is gone, and dad was not able to stay in independent living. He wasn't able to stay in assisted living. He's ended up in memory care, dementia care, because things happened so suddenly. And daughter sort of didn't realize what all was going on. And it's only been a few months, but boy, has it been a rocky road. So what's been happening in the last week or two is the following. Dad believes that mom did not die. She did not die. She decided to pull an insurance scam. And she decided to do it because they had talked about, their insurance and their coverage and what Medicare wouldn't cover, and that she had a life insurance policy, and that if anything ever happened to her, he would be taken care of because she had a life insurance policy. It was a really good policy. And they had talked about that several times. So now, in his situation, he believes she has pulled the scam. That is what happened. Even though he was present at her death, he was present for the funeral. That all happened recently. And so what's happening is, in this facility, he is demanding to know where she is. Where is she? I need to talk to her. I do not want to get caught up in legal shit because she has decided to pull this scam. I didn't approve it. I didn't agree with it. I want to talk to her, and I want to talk to her now. So what do you think staff might be? Oh, by the way, when a woman came out of a room, he came up to her and said, where is she? Where is she? I know you've been talking to her. You talk to her all the time. You're one of the ones that talks to her all the time. I know you're in on this. I know she's where is she hiding? Where is she hiding? And of course, the woman, who happened to be a relative of another person living in memory care, said, I don't know what you're talking about. This is nothing. I'm sorry. I know that you're turned around and confused. And so dad picked up a plate from the table and threatened to hit her with her. So that's our situation. Now, he didn't actually hit her, but he really threatened her, and she got really scared, and staff are like, whoa, this is not okay. So they're in desperate straits to try to get this dealt with. The daughter is now being told, if we can't figure this out very, very quickly, your dad can't stay here anymore. He's going to have to be sent out emergency wise. This is not okay.
Okay, so Teepa, let me make sure I get this straight.
Yeah, you
So
got it. Let's make sure you got it.
Well, let's make sure we got it, because we have a person who is living with dementia, who's living with brain change.
Correct.
And there was a loss, or there's something happening in the situation that they're not pulling up that information. They're not able to.
Their primary partner and caregiver actually died on them fairly suddenly and fairly recently. And they have had 3 living arrangement changes within 6 months.
Multiple, so many huge changes have happened in their life. And now they are demanding to talk to the person that they cannot talk to, because that person is no longer with us, because they think there's something malicious happening. They think there's something that's not good happening.
Correct.
And they are approaching everybody. And when they're approaching folks, they're in that high amygdala place of, this needs to be figured out right now, because I know you all know something and you're not telling me. Is that about right, or am I missing anything?
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. And looking around in the place for where she might be hiding and where she's sort of he's pretty sure that she's around somewhere there, and that everybody's aware of it and they won't let him know. And he needs to then either get out of there or go. I mean, maybe she went, maybe she isn't, maybe she's back home, but he needs to get out of here to go find her.
Yeah. And so his focus is, I got to find her, and anything short of finding her is not right.
Yep.
And people supporting, it sounds like this lady who was coming in to visit family was surprised suddenly with someone saying, hey, you know where she is and you need to tell me where she is because I know you've been talking to her.
And staff, of course, are trying to get him away from people and saying, that's not true. Your daughter's told you what happened. Remember, you went to the funeral. Remember, she's not around. I hate it. I hate it for you. I mean, they are trying some empathy.
And there's that word you brought up that word before. Remember.
Yep.
No,
remember. Now that's not true. Why would you think that? I mean, that's not true. Remember, you actually, your daughter, and your daughter will be here soon. So ask her when she comes. I mean, she'll tell you the same thing. Okay. So that's our scenario. So I'm going to say my simple answer. And my simple answer is you need skills. You need skilled people. You need somebody who has skill at looking at situations. You need skill in so many places because, number one, you aren't even sure what kind of dementia you're looking at. Or maybe you think you know. But you really want to know what the symptoms are that are popping up here and what other symptoms might be underneath those so that you have a clear picture of, this has really escalated recently. Could there be an acute reason for this that has nothing to do with the dementia, but has something to do with inflammation, infection, pain, something along that line? Could it be? Yeah.
Okay, so Teepa, it sounds like right now you're using one of our tools. And I think one of those tools, is that like the 6 pieces of the puzzle? Is that the thing you're starting to go through?
I am using 6 pieces. So the skill of a consultant. So it might be super helpful to have a PAC consultant involved in this situation who can look at the environment and the staff and the caregivers and the family and all that. They can look at the person. They can look at their health and their wellness and their background and all that. They can also look at the brain changes and sort of how long and in what's actually happened here. And they can look at how people are spending time and how the person is spending time and looking back in time and figuring things out. So that's one variable. But there's other options. I mean, that's not the only skilled option that you could go for. What other skill might you want, Matthew?
Yeah, so I think also that skill of using your steps of positive physical approach and being able to use the skills within it to support when the person's approaching you. So recognizing, how do I look to them? Where can I position my body to support? And so that we're together with what's happening. How do I use my reflect skill to really help show them I'm listening. I got your message. I'm with you. And so I think those would be some key pieces that could really help in this situation.
So, I mean, in this case, I would say in this situation, boy, we could sure use a couple of champions, not just level 1 or 2, but all the way up 3, 4, because recognizing what's the gem state of this, what's the ability state of this individual in that moment. Are they logical? Are they reasonable? Or can you use that idea of sequencing and putting the puzzle together? Or are we in a place of emotional distress and we need to respond to that distress to feel that support and then figure out what to do, which is more of a level 3, 4 identified gem states. And then how do you support in those distress states? I mean, so you might need actually a few champions on board who actually are skillful and have developed skills through practice. And not only have they taken the champion course, they've gotten their pins. They've earned their pins. And earning your pins means you have demonstrated in a video clip, in multiple situations, that you actually have integrated these skills into your practice. You've got them in your cerebellum, or at least you're getting them there. Now, there's also just very basic skill. And really basic skill means, well, I'm not sure this sounds like Alzheimer's. Frankly, this doesn't sound a lot like, it does sound like she can't hold on to stuff, but this storytelling, I mean, this really elaborate and sort of plot kind of thing and confabulation. And oh, by the way, some falls unexplained, and some not nighttime really up and about, and some other stories about stuff that hasn't made sense, even though it's consistent. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Um, they're poisoning me kind of statements. Um, Perhaps we have a different kind of dementia. And so we have a resource card that helps maybe look at the back of the resource card where the details are and say if any of those dementias that it mentions on the back are ones that go, oh, so maybe I should look up more about, and then that's an avenue to get more skillful and knowledgeable about, particularly when it comes to medications that are used to manage or treat it. Because there might be some thought about late life onset schizophrenia or something like that, or that all we need is an antibiotic, or those kind of things, or there might be the use of an antipsychotic that is not necessarily the safest thing to do, and could increase risks in other areas.
So Teepa, my head is exploding right now because there's so many different things that could be happening in this moment. So what is it that somebody could do with all of these options, all of these variables? What could somebody do to really help start to narrow in on things that they could move forward with?
Here's the way that we're sort of looking at this. If you get up with us, we will lay out for you what are 5 options, and a couple of them are complementary. I mean, we're not trying to get you to do something you don't want to do. We just want to get you to see the waterfront of what the options are, because sometimes when you get into these situations, you're so overwhelmed by, oh my heavens, what am I supposed to do, that you get stuck, and then somebody else takes over and it goes in a direction you wish it hadn't. So getting ahead of it, sort of figuring this out. So for people who are not in these situations yet, taking an opportunity to just come and look and see what we say some options are, because not everything we do is for a fee. I mean, we're not trying to gouge anybody. We really want to figure out, how can we best serve you? How might we be able to help you on this journey? And it could be as simple as letting you look at a card or watch a clip, or maybe it's getting a little deeper in and figuring out, okay, well, I don't have a lot, but I do have some time to spend on it. Well, maybe break this into small segments and take a look at this. Or I need to know this stuff because I'm on the journey and I don't know a way out of here other than through. And it's like, well, then let's talk some more, because or you can try something with us. We need to be open to the idea, just like there's not just one answer for all dementias. There's not just one answer for all questions that get asked either. But one thing we do know is simply being frozen or afraid or angry or frustrated or scared or overwhelmed isn't going to solve what's happening. And, for too many individuals, when you're thrust into this, it can be too much to take in all at once. So we recommend baby bites, but we also recommend deciding what skills you want, you have, you need, and then let's start looking around to see what kind of support might be available for you. Yeah. All right, everybody. If you were looking for what would I do? Well, that's a whole nother video. But there are things I could do for sure, and I'd be happy to demonstrate. So till next time, take care of yourself, take with your care. And if you're curious, get up with us. And if you want to have me do a demo, let us know that too, because we're here to support what's happening out there in any way we know how, because we want to change the experience fairly dramatically for everyone involved. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Teepa. Bye, everybody.